We're picking up this prawn debate, and Hannah Pearl Davis, has been really causing a storm on social media. Tim Pool got involved again, and they had another exchange. So the last video I did was Pearl and Candace Owens. I'll link that up above so you can check it out. Let's pick it up here where Pearl said, Candace Owens made the first statement that she wants to ban prawn. I think Candace, and what basically she's looking to the government to be God, and that's what you're doing, Candace. And I think you've got good intent, but that's not how I roll. She says ban prawn. It is psychological. It is a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. It's the same mistake, really, that Tim Pool is making with the TikTok ban bill. The bill that's going to force not just TikTok, but you could use it against X as well. I don't know why Tim doesn't acknowledge that, but it's the same problem where Tim says, I don't like, and anybody who supports the TikTok ban bill, I don't like the CCP having influence over an app that's a psychological warfare, a psychological weapon intended or could be used to weaken our country. Yeah, just because it's a psychological weapon intended to weaken our country or weaken our men doesn't mean I'm going to support giving daddy government more power. If you want to find a way to distribute power to as many people as possible, if only we had a term for that, then I would listen to you. If you're not trying to distribute power to as many people as possible to answer the question, just like how do you keep the government power in check, you distribute the Second Amendment weapons, or you allow access to the Second Amendment weapons to everybody, that solves the problem. Not saying daddy government ban all the Second Amendment weapons and daddy government has a monopoly on it. That's what Candace Owens is doing here. And that's why the definition of populism is so important. Pearl Davis responds, if women do not want to have sex with young men, what are the men supposed to do? Be abstinent until the 30-year-old woman decides they're ready to have sex with them? So let's bring in Tim Pool. I'm going to break down a great video. Stay with me. A great video from Pearl. Tim Pool, it has a snarky response, and I don't know if I fully get this response. It might have been deeper than I thought. Let's look. Was Tim Pool, you tell me, was Tim Pool doing some Kendrick Lamar bars here, or was it as simple and bad and off as I think it is? Tim says Pearl is right. Dudes who can't get laid should just handle it. Let's say take matters into their own hands, the hairy palms of their hands, to OF and prawn. So let me try it again. Pearl is right. Dudes who can't get laid should just do it themselves, to OF and prawn. If women do not have sex with young men, what are the men supposed to do? So that's his response. So I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. So here's where I think Tim, he might have been trying to, because the thing with Pearl is that she doesn't provide solutions, but none of these people do. Tim doesn't provide solutions to a lot of the stuff. I mean, he does cultural, opening up coffee shops. That is providing a solution. But when we talk about like politically or to this issue here, Tim hasn't provided any solution. That's why I asked, are you saying, Tim, that you would want to ban prawn? So Hannah says, I didn't give a prescription. So then Tim's like, Candace banned prawn. Pearl, but what are guys supposed to do? Also, Pearl, I wasn't saying anyone should do anything. So Tim, that's a weird way to agree with Pearl. You have expressed no disagreement with anything she said here. The only thing you've provided was Pearl hasn't done an answer. So do you agree with Candace? Just because Candace provided an answer doesn't mean I agree with it. So Pearl's like, fine, what's your solution to young men that are not getting laid? Arranged marriages? Professional women of the night? I don't think he replied to that one. Oh, okay. He said, yeah, I agreed with you, though. So he did reply. Your counter implies dudes should use prawn and OF, only fools, if they aren't getting laid. Otherwise, what does your comment even have to do with Candace? So I see so Tim's saying, Candace said ban prawn, and then Pearl said, but what are guys supposed to do? So I see where Tim's saying, he's like, what is the response? I think what the take that I get, let's go to Pearl's video and let's have her break it down. She broke it down very well. I see what Tim's saying, and I think what Pearl is trying to do is say, no, banning prawn isn't the answer. That doesn't solve anything. Actually, Pearl had something right underneath it here where she said ban prawn is such an obvious and easy point that's not even what I'm debating. What I'm saying is, why is prawn so popular? What did it fill the empty gap of what happened to a man and a woman doing that stuff together until death do us part? Modern women. So Pearl's saying, I'm just trying to tell you why it's so popular. And the trad rees that support them by ignoring the real problem entirely because they won't get off of their virtue signaling toy. At least Destiny enjoys it when he does. What? How did Destiny get involved?
Conservatives always find a way to blame the men. So, the average age for people to lose their virginity in the United States is 16. Some people will dispute this and say it's 18, but let's just go with 16.
I've checked all these facts. I'm not going to do all the sourcing and all that. I've checked them. The numbers are off, and she says that where some people say 17, 16. It's only off by a couple. Like when women get married, I think it's 28 from the source I saw. She might have a source that says 30, 31. It's all in the same realm. I've checked there's opinions in here, but the facts are, I went through them and they're all solid.
For now.
So let's bring that back. I want to go through this in detail, and I want somebody to tell me where Pearl is off here.
Blame the men. So, the average age for people to lose their virginity in the United States is 16.
The average age is 16. Now, remember, Tim Pool replied to her in such a weird manner. He didn't disagree with anything. He just, I guess his take was she never addressed Candace's point. So, I mean, what is the discussion about? If Tim was being genuine, he would say, well, do you want to ban prawn? That's what I asked him. But so the first thing is, she says, let's just start with men or boys at this point at age 16.
Some people will dispute this and say it's 18, but let's just go with 16 for now. Now, the average age of first marriage is 30. So this is the timeline.
You know it's serious when a YouTuber, and she's beyond a YouTuber at this point, she's got her own site and everything. But you know it's serious when a YouTuber goes to the whiteboard. Let's go.
Between marriage and first, sexual experience, let's say.
16 to 30.
Anyone that's done real digging knows. Women are going for 20% of men. So before women marry, they're chasing after 20% of guys, sometimes less.
Yes, because those are the ones that are making the most money, most attractive, got that kind of thing. And then also you've got the social media apps where that 20% of men are going after the women there. So that all adds up. However you found this channel, thank you so much. This was just a clip. That's why it ended abruptly. But go to middlemaga.com, put your email in. I'll give you alerts, and visit the member section on YouTube, and you'll find the full uninterrupted reaction. Appreciate you. Peace.
Middle Maga.